Hi parents! Today in this video we're going to be talking about what unschooling is and why this might be right for you. So before I begin, my name is Felicia Wright. I'm a family education consultant and I help empower families to make educational decisions for their families because it can be very rough out there. There's so many different options and you might not know what the right choice is for you. So I help you do that. So in this video, we're talking about what is unschooling. So let's talk about that. What is unschooling? Unschooling is when it's a form of homeschooling where you keep your kids at home, but you're not following a specific framework or guideline. You're following your children's interests. So whatever your kids are interested in, that is how you teach them. So for example, one of my daughters really enjoys cooking. So if one day she came up to me, and this is an example of unschooling, she came up to me and was like, hey mommy, I want to learn how to bake a cake like on Nailed It. So the way I can incorporate all of those subjects is, okay, like, well, first let's go get a cookbook. And then she would spend time reading that cookbook. So that would incorporate some reading. And then she would have to learn how to measure and what measurements mean. So that would incorporate some science and some math. So this is just one example of how unschoolers do things, but basically you're following your kids' interests. You're not having them sit down and follow curriculum, doing a workbook per se. You're just following exactly what they want to do. So one week it might be cooking, the next week it might be learning how grass grows or what's up with the sun, something like that. So it's really all dependent on what your child wants and their needs, and then going from there. So this method might be right for you if your child struggles with curriculum, struggles sitting down, doing something day in and day out. Unschooling is really great for those types of kids that just find a workbook to be completely boring. And even for yourself, like if you find it completely boring to be sitting down at a table or a desk every day with your child to do a workbook, unschooling might be a good adventure for you, because it is quite the adventure to be like, oh, like you want to learn about this today? Let's go learn about it together. And that's another thing that could be really helpful for you, so you can learn with your child. Because I mean, these kids, they hit us with some really crazy stuff. It's like, well, how far away are the stars? And like questions that you don't have answers for. So it can be a great bonding experience to come together. It's like, you know what? I don't know. Let's go to the library, get a book, and figure this out together. So it's a great way to bond and figure out what your kid likes and what you can do together. Some downsides to unschooling is that you're not necessarily following a framework or a curriculum, so there could be potential gaps that might be left out as you go along. You just have to be mindful of that, but that's not a reason not to unschool, especially if it's for your family. So just be mindful of that. And how do you start? You just start. You just say, hey babe, what do you want to learn about today? Or you decide like, hey, we were talking about trucks and engines the other day. Let's go find a book on engines and learn some stuff from YouTube and go from there. So if that's something that you're interested in, just get started, see what your kids are interested in. And it's a great way to bond with your kids and find out like, hey, like my kid really has an interest in gymnastics or loves cars. So let me know in the comments if you are an unschooler. Have you tried it? Do you want to try it? And let me know how it's going, because we practice a little bit of unschooling, but we still follow a curriculum at home. But I would love to hear your experiences. So with that, I hope that was helpful. In the comments below, I have all sorts of resources. My Jumpstart to Homeschooling guide is in the comments below. And like this video and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.